In this video, I'm going to show you how you can customize your contact form on your Shopify site without needing any additional apps. We can use whatever theme that you have and add in additional customizations like a drop-down menu, text box, check marks, and other fields that you can add into your contact form to collect additional information. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, and my name is Elle McCann, and I've been a Shopify expert for over 6 years now. If you're new to this channel, we post videos all about Shopify and how to grow your online store. And if you've been here, a subscriber here for a while, thank you so much, and we really appreciate you. So this video was actually a recommendation from one of our subscribers, Mitsubishi Hashimoto, and I hope I say your name right. But he had commented on a previous video of a suggestion for how to customize your contact form on your Shopify site. And we thought it was a great idea and wanted to do a video on it. So if you have an idea that you think we should make a video tutorial out of, make sure to comment on any of our videos and we might just make a video about it. Okay, so his original comment was asking exactly how to customize your contact form on your Shopify site and add in additional fields like a drop-down menu, text field, and checkboxes. So you may want to customize your contact form just to get additional information from people who are contacting you. You may need to get additional specs or know what product they purchased, or want them to put in their order number if you're going to be providing support on their order. There are many different reasons why you want to add additional fields, and that's what we're going to be showing you how to do in this video, but we're going to be showing you how to do that without the use of a Shopify app. Now, there are a lot of Shopify apps out there that will let you customize your contact form fairly simply, but it's also really easy to edit it on your site. You just need to know a little bit of HTML and CSS to do that. Now, I know I'm saying this and people are going, oh my gosh, I don't know it, but no worries. I'm going to walk you through that exactly. Now, I will say if you want additional fields for your contact form, like an image upload, or you want to handle sensitive information, like if you want to collect payment through the contact form, I recommend a software called Jotform that'll let you really highly customize a form and then embed it on your site. So I would recommend doing that instead of building it all out with Shopify's form, just to make sure that it's more secure. But if you're just wanting to add additional fields like a text field, a drop-down menu, or a checkbox to get them to accept certain terms, then this is going to be a great option for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into my screen. So just go ahead and minimize the video and put me to one side of your desktop, and then put your Shopify store to the other side, and we're going to walk through this step by step so you don't have to be scared at all of editing the code on your site. So let's get started. Okay, so I am back in my Shopify store backend now. And if you go to the themes area by clicking on online store and then themes, you'll see your themes area here with your active theme on your site. So this is my theme, which is the handy theme, which we have gone through customizing this in a previous video. So if you're interested in either this theme or how to customize your Shopify store, I will put a link to that in the info cards above. But you are going to want to edit this theme, and you're just going to click on actions and then edit code. And now you see all of the different files, the template files on your site. So be very careful of what you're editing, because you don't want to make any changes to pages that you don't want to. So you'll see here that we have a page.contact.liquid. So this is under the templates area, and you'll have somewhat of a contact form page there, and it'll typically say contact in it. So we're going to click on this to open it in the right-hand side. So you can see now we have all of our code for this page, and what we're wanting to edit, you're going to want to see where it says form contact. And that form area, anything between this beginning form tag and the ending form tag, is all your actual contact form. So we'll edit inside this area. So I'm going to go to the front end of this site. So you can see this is our contact page now, very, very basic. So we're going to add in a couple different forms here. So right now we have a name field, an email address, phone number, and message, so we can add in some additional ones as well. So if we come back to our Shopify store, our label that you see here, this is contact form name. So back at the Shopify store area, this is our name area. So that is the label. And then this will be the input field. So if we come back there, this is the input field here. And then you can see that we also have this div that is an input wrapper. And this is wrapping the whole area. So we have that starting here and ending here. So it's just keeping that together. So what we're going to want to do, so first off, each theme is going to be different slightly on how they do this. But what we want to do is make sure that what we're adding in goes with your existing Shopify theme. So we are going to add in this field. We could take out maybe the phone if we don't want the phone, or we can add it in underneath it. So I'm going to just copy this. So I'm going to copy the full element of this input wrapper and the label and input. So again, it's going to be different for your theme, but you want to just copy any styling that you have around that. So I'm going to just copy it, and then I'm going to hit enter twice, and I'm going to paste it underneath. Now we want our field to be different. So let's say for this first one that we actually add in a drop-down menu. So I'm going to actually highlight the label and input field, and I'm going to just delete those. So now we have our kind of blank area that we can add in our code in the middle. Now I've pulled up in a separate tab a link to a Shopify forum area that shows you the exact fields that you can add to your contact form. So we have a text field, which we already have on our site, like the name and the email address, radio buttons, a drop-down menu, and a checkbox. So these are your available fields to add in into your contact form. So let's go ahead and add in a drop-down menu. So I'm just going to copy this. So we can see here we have our label, and then instead of an input, now it's a select field because it's a drop-down and you can only select one. So I'm going to copy that and go back to my Shopify store, and I'm going to just paste it in. And so now you can see that we have kind of the default of what they had for their label. So it says choose a flavor. So we don't really want it to be that. We're going to choose it to be specific for us. So maybe we make this field like a how did you hear about us? So I'm just typing in the question that we want to show up above the form into this label area. And then you can see here it says label 4. So we're going to follow the same formatting that our form already has. So we have contact-form in previous ones. So I'm going to just copy and paste that here. And I'm going to change form or phone to how. This is more just for keeping it all organized. And I'm going to do the same for the select field as well. You can see here the label and the input field were the same for the 4 and the ID. So I'm going to make that the same as well. And I'm going to change this name contact to not be flavor because again, that's not relevant to us. So I'm going to just change this to how again. So this way it all appears correctly whenever the email is actually sent when someone fills out this form. So now you have these different options. And again, this was a choose your flavor. So it's chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry in this example, but we can go ahead and we can change these to be however you want it to be. So how did you hear about us? So we could put in things like Facebook or Instagram. Okay, or let's even say YouTube. So we can have a couple different options. And if you wanted to add even more, you could just copy this and you could paste as many as you want, one after the other. So you would just fill it up as much as you wanted to give them all the different options. So I'm going to just delete that and we'll have our 3 options and hit save. And now let's go back to the front end of our Shopify store and I'm going to refresh it to see how it looks now. Okay, so now you can see our form here and we have a drop-down menu of Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. However, it looks a bit different from the rest. So this is just based on how our theme is stylizing it. You may actually see that this is exactly how you want it to be right off the gate. However, in this case, it's not exactly right. So for example, the drop-down menu is right next to the words, where on this example, we have our words kind of on a separate line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Shopify store, and I'm going to add in some styling. So in front of this label area, I'm going to type in the word style and then do an equal sign and then 2 quotation marks. And this is going to let us stylize everything. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to type in width 100% and end it with a semicolon. So this is saying the styling for this label, which is this wording of how did you hear about us, is 100% width. So I can copy this and I'm going to paste it on the select field as well, just so we can get both of those to be on their own lines. And I'm going to hit save and come back and refresh. Okay, so now you can see it's stylized a bit better. Now you can continue going through this process and we could add some additional styling. So for example, we could add some more space underneath here, and we could also make this just a bit bigger because it's not the correct size right now, so it's not working correctly. So I'm going to come back to the Shopify store. And for the select field, so I want this drop-down menu to be thicker, kind of like these are. So I'm going to guess that that's about, let's say, 50 pixels. So I'm going to come in now and say height 50 pixels. And I'm going to end it with a semicolon as well. And then I'm going to add some space underneath both. So for the label, I'm going to say padding bottom 10 pixels, and I'm going to copy that and put it on the select field as well to add a little bit more space. I'm actually going to say 25 pixels just to give a little bit more space between this field and our message field. And I'm going to hit save and let's refresh it. So that's starting to look a lot better, and you can start playing with it of how you want it to be styled. So again, we kind of would want to just tweak it a little bit more, and you could also add in additional fields. So you can see here under the Shopify, all of the fields that you have available. We could do the same process if you wanted to add in a radio button or a checkbox, and you could continue doing that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my form and I'm going to make a few final edits just to get this styled like the rest. Now, if you don't know how to do all of this, you can follow along with the CSS that I'm adding in here. But if you have any questions, you can put a link and questions of how to get it stylized in the comments below. But for me, I want to still add a little bit more space in between both the how did you hear about us and the form, as well as this form field and the message area. I also want to align this to be where the text is in the center, and I want to make this, if you can see here, the rest of my backgrounds are kind of transparent and have a border, where this is white and has a black border. So I want to stylize that the same. So I'm going to go back to my Shopify store, and I'm going to add in just a little bit more. So I'm going to add in to my label field, I'm going to say float left and semicolon just to make that all align. And I'm also going to say float left as well for here. I'm going to change padding bottom to margin, which is just going to force that to give a little bit more space. I'm also going to add in, we're going to type out background. And I'm going to say transparent, but if you wanted it to be a background color, well, it would help if I misspelled it, or if I spelled it correctly. But if you want this to be a background color, you could then put in the hex color here. So instead of transparent, you could put in the hex color, so 3 zeros would be black. but I am going to keep that at transparent. And then lastly, I'm going to add in a border. So I'm going to say 1 pixel solid, and that is my hex color for that border. So we're going to add the border to the select field. So I think this should do the trick. So we're going to hit save. And if you want to check out any of my styling, just pause your video so you can type out exactly how I have it typed out. And we're going to go back to the contact page and refresh it. And that looks so much better. It matches the styling of the rest of the fields on this contact form. And so it's just a little bit of trial and error and kind of refreshing the page to see exactly how you want it to be. So again, I'm going to put a link in the description to go to this Shopify area that goes over the different fields, and you can copy in this code. And if you have any additional questions of how to stylize something, put it in the comments below and we're happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to post below and we would love to help you through with that. Also, if you have an idea for another video that we should create, also make sure to comment below and let us know. We might make a video on that as well. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe so that you can be the first to be notified when we put out new video tutorials all about Shopify and how to grow your online store. Thanks for watching.